Riot Games Arena, it's time to get this elimination match started. Give it up for Evil Geniuses!
Now look, I'm just gonna say that I think for Evil Geniuses, what has been most interesting for me is I feel like they're kind of playing a little bit with house money right now. You know, I don't think a lot of people felt like they were a team that was capable of being in the playoffs. They're here now, so now it's kind of just like, do what you want. You know, the world is your oyster, Vince.
For sure, but at the same time, I also feel that this is a roster for EG that is starting to believe in themselves too. The first dominant victory versus Crew, but then secondly, the victory versus Loud, even though it didn't mean much into the standings, the fact that they were able to win a series and push this to a third map and win the third map for the first time they split, that tells a lot for this team. They were really relieved in terms of the tenacity.
And I do want to clarify, not to disparage, but I do genuinely feel like this EG team, they have found something. Maybe this could be their opportunity.
And now it's time to bring out their opponents. Make some noise for Cloud9!
And Bren, we spoke extensively about C9. We heard Liz's breakdown of their history, what they've done. But this is it now, man. You know that your backs are against the wall. And I will say, I'm kind of disappointed that Imi's not out here with the chest hair on.
Yeah, absolutely. But for Cloud9, they're a team with, I think, just unlimited potential overall.
Yes,
You know it from the way that they play. You see it from an individual's basis as well, from map to map, from time to time. But it's all about how you make it click in the moment. And I got to say, the biggest thing for them has got to be just locking in, focusing on this one match. Forget about the stakes. Forget about what it means if you end up losing this. Again, falling into the same trap that this org is falling into. The players represent the orgs in some way, but you are not the org. You are your own people, your own identity, and you got to focus on the here and now. And looking at this map draft, there's some interesting things to know, I think. EG in particular picking Fracture. This is a map that's almost synonymous with constant fighting as soon as the barriers will drop down. I've got a bit of an inclination that they might be picking this to try and bait and pull Cloud9 into taking these fights at barrier drops and trying to really just absorb the aggression like EG have been doing, playing these slow games to try and bait Cloud9 to overfight and overextend a little bit. That might be where they're going with this pick.
Yeah, which they were able to do for a bit against 100 Thieves when they played against 100 Thieves, until 100 Thieves was like, okay, wait, we actually do know how EG's playing. We could counteract on how passive they've been playing on the attack side, and then it became very one-sided. But there has been some good in terms, like you mentioned it, Brent, working fundamentals on the EG side on that very map that they lost. That still looks good. If that continues on for that, it'll be looking quite swell. The thing is though, the second map is going to Icebox. That's been a map for EG that's been permanently banning as I think it was a first ban for every series that they've done, but they started floating that map over into the mid-season when it was like against Crew or EG or Sentinels rather. So it tells me that they actually always had something planned for a map like Ascent or Icebox. They just wanted to wait until the playoffs to actually showcase that, and I'm looking forward to that second map at least.
Could maybe be a little bit of 4D chess there from Coach Potter and the rest 100%. Of the squad, but here's the agent select here, and again with Fracture, nothing really all that crazy. Got a lot of good setup here, and I'm really just expecting, Oxy go kill on that Neon.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning as well, for as much as I've been talking about Cloud9 being this pacey team that want to opt into fights, they have shown a lot of nuance, I think, this year. They don't entirely play like this, where they're brainless and turn it off. They do pick and choose fights at the right moments as well, so it's not going to be too easy of a task, I would say, for EG, just to really just try and play slow and hoping that Cloud9 going to be opting into fights on their pace. Cloud9 are a very, very dangerous team. They still should be considered, I think, the favorites in this one.
And I think at the helm of that is also paying attention to what Nature could bring here as the IGL for this team, because he seems to be able to read those enemies, his opponents, quite well. And at the same time, within the fight, within the server itself, pay attention to this utility that he uses as the initiator to prevent these aggressive pushes that they were able to do against Crew. If this is going to be a very similar playstyle from Cloud9, you could expect that for EG. They could really snuff this aggression coming out from that side.
All right, folks. Well, this is it, our second elimination match of the day. So let's go ahead and send it over to your casters. It's a life or death matchup, and you got Doug and Baby Bay on the call.
Thank you so much, guys. Riot Games Arena, the stakes are perfectly simple. It doesn't get any more complicated than this. You win, you advance, you lose, you're done for a really long time. Dre, let's talk about compositions right off the bat. We're heading into Fracture. We already saw some changes on the side of Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, we got Ye on the Cypher now, and I think that's because of the pressure that 100 Thieves previously put on them with a Neon comp that's similar to Cloud9's. Now, Ye can use a lot of those trips, that camera work to deal with that aggressive defensive side stuff that the Neon can cook up.
Just a few moments away. You mentioned Oxy on the Neon. I imagine a lot of the game plan will be for EA to find value in countering that. EG is starting off on the defensive side, so we're going to figure out how effective that is right off the bat. It's Cloud9 down 4 on the southern side, sniffing around the B side of the map.
Interesting use of the Teo salvos from Cloud9 early on is to break some of those trips. None of them here, though.
Oxy will try to follow the drone, but will only waltz his way into Ye's crosshair. 2 kills found, make that 3 for El Diablo as he's got 4. Coming to life right off the bat. And the ace delivered for Evil Geniuses. iBuyPower ace coming through as the pistol goes the way of the defense.
If this is how EG are stepping into playoffs with Ye popping off with an ace right off the bat, I'm scared for other teams. And what a heads-up play from Ye. I think he held onto that trip, placed it late, so it got value in the middle of the round. Those salvos used from Cloud9 early on were to break said trip.
Remember to make sure you follow at iBuyPower on social media. Use hashtag UnlockYourAce for a chance to win some goodies. EG up early. Cloud9 with a non-existent buy, looking to right the ship.
Such a healthy buy from EG as well. You got 2 Bulldogs, a Guardian, Derek, the only one sitting on that Ghost that he brings over from the previous round. Orbs were gathered for Cloud9. Trying to get something, but now some proactivity from EG. They clear out all the bottom side of the map. There is a Cypher Cam that they did not spot. Again, salvos being used to try to break some of those trips that Ye has been putting down.
Yeah, but that thing's at 30,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, very unique trip. Big struggle EG has had in the past on this map. They are 1-1 on it. Their only win being against Furia was retaking. Their defensive side was lacking. This time with superior firepower, opting to play the slow game, allowing that spike to be planted and waiting for these A main players to reconvene.
Tripwire destroyed.
Spike planted.
Mitch committing it to spike just on the other side of the utility. And Derek feeling a lot of that pressure, scaling him back. Buying time, now committing to the fight. And oh boy, this is not going the way Evil Geniuses were looking for. A couple of kills traded. Vic with 3. And now they're going to have this utility to play around, but I don't think it's going to... Oh, well, it's going to stop him, but he got it to half. It's going to be Icy in a 1v1. Already been gotten to half. Mitch with a decent bit of utility as well. Time is running shorter and shorter. Icy on the tap. The swing comes through. Ball line not connecting. The second dose, he turns the flash. Time is short. He's got to commit onto it. And I don't know that Icy's going to have the time. It's a thrifty round win conversion for Cloud9.
And we are in for a banger matchup. Ye gets an ace in the first round, but the pressure that Cloud9 put onto EG, pushing lane right here, it was too much. Vic got 3 into the round with that classic, so sharp with it. The way that Mitch cycled his utility in heaven right there has Cloud9 fired up, and Mitch is somebody who really shined in their last series against Sentinel as well, Doug. He was doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Zeppa and Oxy didn't really get much going in their last series. Now, with an opportunity to make that up. Zeppa's been known to be the underground king of Fracture, at least against NRG.
Yeah, he had a field day there. Cloud9 will spike in tow. Grabbing a couple orbs. Still have so much of the map they can play around. I mean, look at how far Net is up towards B.
Yeah, the approach so far from Cloud9 after that pistol round was taking dish control early on with a 4-1. Trap play being made here, but that Neon allows you to get out. Use your stun to reciprocate. Now everybody grouped up here with that cut of noise. Rotations are being made, and Icy gets picked off by Oxy. That's a free A site now.
You imagine they're going to try to rotate back. The defense hadn't gone too far off. But the gun difference is going to be a serious problem for Evil Geniuses. So Cloud9 fill into the space. Should get the spike down here in just a moment. And Mitch will get one step closer to having the Rolling Thunder online.
Salvos were used pretty early on here for Derek, but it does not stop the spike from being planted. And these players from B site just now reaching A main.
Tripwire destroyed.
That knows ball line. Provide a little bit of cover. Ye getting 2, traded back though. And the cage will not save Net. Had a couple of silly rounds already. Are we due for another?
There's still Teo Salvo's online for Zeppa. It's going to be the contingency plan, but Mitch gets taken out way too early. There might be a window of opportunity.
One down. If the time works out, they might have a shot at this. He's going to fill in behind it. I don't know how Zeppa's going to fill into this. He can't. Will the defuse land? I think it's a little short. Oh my gosh, it's not.
Thrifty after thrifty. EG, they took their time on this retake, but it ends up working for them. The players in A main doing so much damage. Look at Ye, he's just on one today, man. Nice! Look at it. And another swing of momentum. Yeah. Another swing of momentum. Going the way of EG, and you gotta feel like Cloud9, all this talk about choking and legacy of Cloud9, it's showing a little bit. I feel like they have advantages in a lot of these rounds, even in their last series against Sen.
I don't
But
know.
it just gets stripped away from them, Doug.
I feel like both teams have had to dance with that pressure early on. Both teams have had their metal tested. Both teams have had the opportunity to break, and I think it just comes down to who's going to be the last one standing. When all is said and done. We've had, what, two Thrifties already?
Yeah.
We played 3 rounds. That Armageddon's going to cause some problems as Oxy tucks up from behind it. Best thing of the final ball so far, and Evil Genius is finding a lot of space onto the site. Still plenty of work to be done, though. Icy now, rocket popped. No target found yet, and I don't know that there will be one to claim. Vic has his ult.
One enemy remains.
It's going to be a... They're still going to have to deal with so much, and it may have been too early. Preemptive nade, Vic falls to it, excuse me, as the defuse comes through. EG gets a 3.
Yeah, the difference this time around for EG on their retake is the trip placement from Ye. We had trips that were so far back this time, waiting for any type of aggressive push that they were expecting C9 to do. And it ended up paying out for them. They're then able to use all their utility on the site, set up for their retake, and Icy, yeah, he has to invest a showstopper, but it's so worth it. You cannot allow Cloud9 a way back in once again. So now, EG sitting nice in terms of their economy. And a change of trips once more for Ye. Trip in Heaven. Picks up the trip to dodge the salvos. He's so quick with this, Doug. And it's so small, but it's so important.
Making those changes on the fly. Helping them live to fight another day. Orb picked up. Mitch's ult now online.
My camera is destroyed.
Quick tag, quick swing. Remember how good Ye's been. Currently sitting at 8 and 3. No joy this time around.
While all that commotion was made in B main, Derek decided to re-clear dish, but this information is now gathered for Cloud9 Mitch. Understanding that maybe A is going to be a little bit weaker now. We could do a split, a 4-1 on the bottom side.
There's still some of this utility. Nature's going to have a stun as a counter, and that might be enough to dissuade and to delay.
Still 4 members here for the side of EG, and Ye's creeping up into sight.
Yeah, there was enough delay to bolster the reinforcements, and again, Ye with 2. Cloud9 doesn't even have the spike in hand right now. Oxy's going to have to rotate back, scoop it up, and that's just the first part of the equation.
30 seconds left.
If Net can find an opening here to even the score. It doesn't look like EG are going to give them the time of day, though. A main will be taken. It's going to be a crunch onto the actual site. Maybe that fault line's coming up soon.
Take a quick glance at utility. Nature stun right up, as you were mentioning. Off of the swing on it. Net not able to control the shots. Oxy will crumble as well. EG creating a little separation.
Yeah, and it's all thanks to Ye, though. Let's just keep it a buck, Doug. I mean, this guy is peeking out through neon walls, getting 2 at a time. He starts off the game with an ace on pistol round. Playoff Ye is real, man. We have not seen this out of him in years, man. 10 and 4 right now. Look at that shot onto Mitch, just ultra instinct.
One enemy remaining.
And the pressure that EG are putting on Cloud9 on these retakes, it's just too much to handle. It's up to Imi now to slow things down for Cloud9. Try to formulate a plan of what's going wrong right now. Cloud9 had a good read into that round. Oxy got a great entry. But they're just not ready for these randomly timed swings through smokes or a player on an off angle right now, and it's very early on, but this is getting out of hand. And for EG, just keep disrupting. It's been working so far. Keep putting Ye in a spot where he can maneuver around these smokes or his cages if he needs to, and just go for broke. I mean, if he's getting 2 every single time he's dying, you don't even need the trips to play off of.
Yeah, 10 kills through 5 rounds. That's a great average. I mean, I'd take that any day of the week.
Again, when was the last time we see Ye have a performance like this?
I think there are a lot of questions around the firepower potentially lacking against Evil Geniuses, because what are you going to do when Vic pops off? What are you going to do when Oxy pops off? You know, Zep was good for it too, but I mean, Ye's been the one who's answered the call at least early. Here on Fracture, as you were mentioning, plenty of game left to be played. You take a look at the purchase for Cloud9, a couple of stingers, an ult for Oxy. You imagine they're going to want to use it here. All 5 north side, too.
Yeah, another top side default this time. Net, along with the squad, I think just going to try to drag a rotation onto this A site. Maybe throw a little bit of a fake here if you're Cloud9. Just have this Neon slide all the way out A while everybody goes up B. But if you look at Ye's setup right now, he's so far back. That Heaven trip, that could get a lot of value here, too.
He's also holding the cross.
I mean, he might just take out a player on a timing peak here. He's been doing it all game long, right?
Yeah, 1 tap, 2 tap, just like that. Pushed off by the smoke, at least for now.
Yeah, this A fake was the play. Look at that fault line from Arcade.
It's not even just a fake. There has to be a lot of scaling behind it. But Soup is able to extinguish it just as quickly as it starts. Fuse put out, now ult popped. And Ye getting all of the info. The veil has been lifted. Now they realize Cloud9 is out on B. Remember, the purchase is not great. The buy is light. Can they find their way around this? Waiting for Cloud9 to fully commit, and now the Rolling Thunder's going to try to push them back. I don't believe Vic was tagged, but he's got a Sheriff. That's certainly going to help things. That sure, it might be exactly what he needed. Order Strike now invested. Supa and Icy both with rifles in hand. Supa's weak, though. He's going to get his 1. Potentially falling down to a 1v1. Mitch trying to find any little window that he can. And he swings right into it now. Mitch left in a 1v1. Icy has already dropped one of these. Can he deliver the second time around? Oh, Icy stands strong. The defuse comes through. EG gets a 5.
For a second there, we thought Icy was going to stick that spike and Mitch would have done it again the way that Cloud9 won their first round. But he quickly gets off of that spike and connects the headshot. What poise from the rookie, man. Unreal. He's been somebody that's been fairly quiet as well. For him to step up and win a 1v1 like that against Mitch, who's been so sharp, even with a worse arsenal, is very impressive for EG. This is a different type of EG that we're seeing here today, Doug. We got to point it out, man.
So far, I am inclined to agree with you, yeah.
We thought maybe they could be in danger after getting thriftied, but the answer back and to win these rounds the way that they're doing it. Let's see if they can handle this pressure into Arcade, though. Oxy slips past. Icy does have that operator right now.
Right now, it's just Oxy who might be under threat. Forget about the op, brother. Salvo's on one side, Nate on the other. It's Michael Bay film.
Now you're kind of ready for this drop hit as well. I mean, you have Nature sitting on site. He's so good at maneuvering around this pillar.
Derek peeking out just on the other side of the smoke. Cloud9, it's a pump fake, not committing to the hit. They're going to rotate off, but they don't really have any space towards B either.
And you're running into Ye. Ye's sitting in heaven quite nicely, but I think they're going to regroup, maybe go back A main on this hit. But if they don't show anything towards B at all, there's no need for EG members to move.
Yeah, 40 seconds left on the clock, too.
They're deciding to go A main. There's still a trip up there. Or B main. There's still a trip up there. And Icy still has that
30
operator.
seconds left.
Full sights ahead. Vic's going to have to smoke him off.
Oh, and it's the standard trip, too. It's not that crazy angled one. Icy connects. Salvos to try to buy a little cover, but it's just not enough. Icy and Ye both coming to life, but Net puts one out.
There's just no time, though, and you're not even going to be able to save. Icy's on the hunt. The double satchel in. No smoke there to block off the operator sightlines for Icy is a bit of an oversight.
Nope, nobody really performing on the side of Cloud9 here.
You just can't be making small mistakes like that, but this trap play that EG set in motion to fish out that deposit of Oxy, that worked beautifully for Evil Geniuses. Full momentum for EG right now. Icy hitting some really nice op shots. He has his second showstopper of the map.
He's gonna get pushed off of this early on. A little bit of an exchange of utility. And now the second approach. You mentioned that op line still there. Icy now having satchel away. While they're nipping at his heels, flashing him, trying to swing out. And Nature and Derek keep him back.
He's still sitting here. He wants the smoke. But a 5v3. I mean, EG, everyone here. Net is going to have to come up huge here, but he only has a stinger, man.
You're asking him to make a lot out of a little.
I wonder if Icy's going to invest the showstopper, try to save that. Doesn't even need to. He gets the off pick onto Zeppa.
Yeah, I imagine you're going to want to carry that over and continue to have that pressure.
This might be, well, I was going to say it might be a flawless, but you know how the saying goes.
Vic in 1v4. And he will succumb to the pressure of Evil Geniuses. They will get up to 7. You still have the op for Icy and his ult alongside Derek's too.
I love the confidence we're seeing from Icy right now. He held his ground in that door and didn't care about the utility that was thrown his way because of the supporting cast. He had so much faith in Nature and Derek to support him. It just looked beautiful. I mean, look at this. Cloud9 were not ready for the follow-up there.
I think we need to start bringing that conversation back up around Cloud9 and their performance in playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think you come into this series and it's against Evil Geniuses and you think, okay, this should be a chance for them to right their wrongs, right? To right the ship, the struggles, the demons that they've had for so many years now, but it seems like that has not been cleared out of their closets.
This looks like a completely different team from what we've seen from just a day ago. Nothing really working for Cloud9, like you were mentioning. Nobody really having any pop-off moments. The only round they won was off of Mitch having a ridiculous thrifty clutch.
Hey, nobody's even positive right now, and we're 8 rounds into the game.
Yeah, this time a B hit. Vic will get the head-to-head against Derek, but Icy, he's still here with the showstopper.
Mitch committing to getting the plant down. And there's the ult popped up close and personal. He'll pay for it with his life, but the damage has been dealt. Again, now ult used to betray the positions of the opposition.
If you're EG right now, you have to speed up this retake, but with the flank around from Oxy, this Neon, I don't think EG are going to be ready for this one, man.
And Vic has his ult too. They can play this as far back as they want. Oxy lighting up the kill feed, showing signs of life. A breath of fresh air for Cloud9.
And for Cloud9, you get away with not having to use the Armageddon. You get away with not having to use the Breach ult as well. These are heavy hitting ults that you can use in the post plant. If they can get onto site again, maybe they can salvage this half. That showstopper going 1-for-1 really did feel like, yeah, it really felt like the nail in the coffin in this round specifically for EG. Still looking really healthy though. Still an operator in play. Derek has the Armageddon of his own. This time Icy putting his sights on B main, adjusting. Last time he was arcade.
Cheeky trip again. Icy landing the shot onto Oxy. He's gonna re-aggro into this?
Yeah. He almost gets timing there as well. He's playing so confidently right now, but the speed up towards A, Nature doesn't have the rotates here quite yet. Those salvos will delay and fault line.
That ult is going to cause some problems.
Drone is down.
They're going to fill in behind this. Yay, playing up close in the cage with Superman close by. Oh. Cage down, Yay falls. But I don't think they're expecting Supa here.
I mean, they're holding for him, but there's still so many members of Evil Geniuses on the A site. This fault line is going to come back up for Nature.
Boy, patience was not a virtue there. Meanwhile, Net overwhelming Nature. Icy finding a kill with the op.
30 seconds left.
Big. Made very uncomfortable. And Net will fall. Icy does too. Cloud9 get another.
The win condition right now for Cloud9 was that speed up towards A, taking Sands, but then freezing. I think Evil Geniuses did a good job of delaying with utility to buy time for those rotations, but it looked like Ye just got caught out when that smoke dropped, not understanding that that was going to be a timing. That little freeze from Cloud9 was so unsettling for EG that they just felt like they had to show their bodies. And they got punished for it. So it feels like a shift in momentum towards Cloud9 now.
Yeah,
Prompts a timeout for EG.
I agree with you. The tides are turning for sure.
And they chipped away at the economy as well. Viewers out there can't see it, but it's going to be a bit of a thrifty buy from EG. Let's see how Cloud9 can approach this round and see if it's any different from their last one, because, man, it was less than ideal for Cloud9 the last time around.
Gotta love the classic esports shoes shot.
Yeah.
Gotta get one of those to broadcast, right?
Something I want to keep track of. Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. So I was going to say, something I want to keep track of as this series progresses is Oxy and his individual performance. Last year when these two teams faced, he went 76-45. That's plus 31. Yeah, that series went 3 maps. So far, a bit of a rough start, but he's been bringing it back slowly.
As has the rest of Cloud9.
Icy crept up. He passed Ye in the scoreline as well. 13-6 on him. Remember, he was using that operator, getting tons of picks already. So after the timeout, call from Potter and Co. is to do a B main smoke, and with that reach flash being used from Cloud9, Arcade is being taken. Proactivity in the thrifty for EG. They're going to be spotted by a cam here. That's going to prompt a speed up B main though.
Meanwhile, EG taking a lot of space towards Dish. Ye will fall. Mitch pushing the pace. Oh boy, what in the world? What in the world was that? Derek will fall too, and now they realize there's a lot of pressure being applied on the northern side, and they can turn all attention that way. Excuse me? With a stinger?
Yep. Most insane gun in the game. I mean, what is going on here? Oxy's sitting pretty low. This should have been clean for Cloud9.
It's
still an uphill battle, though.
Right.
Still an uphill
I
battle.
wouldn't say it's messy yet, but it's far from spotless. Oxy's 11
What?
Okay. We've really made a mess of this now, haven't we?
It's getting too silly for me, Doug.
Spike continues to tick away. I still don't know that there's going to be enough time. Evil Geniuses want to have a say in how this plays out. Nature falls. I don't think Icy even got it to half. No. Vic gets his 2. Cloud9 gets a 4. And it's the same story on the other side of their timeout.
Round in the half.
I think Cloud9 did a great job of dissecting where EG was trying to get proactive. They eliminated a lot of the map control. And once they took control of this B main, yeah, Mitch slipping in this underpass, helping out Net, who was about to get crunched, was enough of a distraction for even Net himself to get value running out of his own cage. So methodically working the map, not getting thrifty this time, is really good progress to get closer to shortening this lead.
Good night. Yeah, still getting 1 there is criminal.
There's so much utility being used on Oxy in that moment. Look at this A main push from the bottom side.
Yeah, they're speeding up. Trip is still going to keep them back, but Mitch, that's an up.
Yeah, he sees 3.
And now they have to speed up going the other way, but there's not a lot of room for them to breathe. Instead, they decide to dig their heels in, decide to try to take the fight, and it's all EG's for now. Vic left alone, and he cannot convert for Cloud9.
No hesitation on that bottom side push from EG. They knew that they were going to be faced with all those members in A main, and Icy, he got his 3rd showstopper in that half. yeah, he doesn't get value from it, but the pressure that puts on alone allowed for everybody else from EG to step up and just smother the players that were stuck in A main.
Neither team really hesitating on that trigger. They wanted to swing, they wanted to take the fight, and it's Cloud9 who emerges from the mess on top. We normally would throw it to a break here, but we've got a little special interview. It's Liz standing by with the guests. Liz, take it away.
Anything for you, Douglas Esports. And I'm here with Nona Berlian, who you might recognize if you've been on the Indonesian streams of the VCT. This is the Indonesian host, everyone. Welcome to Los Angeles and welcome to VCT. Can we give a warm welcome to Nona coming to VCT Americas in Los Angeles? You said that earlier when we were just chatting, this is your first time in Los Angeles. You're on vacation and you're like, I'm just gonna show up to VCT Americas. You know, why would, on your vacation, why would you come here?
I mean, I want to watch Finesse playing before he retired again.
Girl, don't kick him while he's down. Oh my God. I want to talk about the Indonesian scene in Valorant, right? You know, we have some amazing players. You know, Aneri is one of my favorite players. You know, Forsaken, Mindfreak. Where does all that talent come from? The Indonesian scene? Is there like, what? Can you talk to me about that?
I mean, maybe because we just like shoot on the heads. We don't think about the strat.
So we don't know strats, just shooting the easy, just click heads. I think maybe some people out here maybe just think about that too, right? Well, speaking about it here, we have C9 versus EG right now. We did some preds on the analyst desk. Can I ask you for your prediction? Scoreline, team, who's gonna win?
Scoreline?
Yes.
For this map or?
For the entire thing, like 2-1,
Entire
2-0.
2-0 for EG, Live Evil.
Okay, clean. My last question for you moving forward, you've been in Americas, you've seen Finesse and you've seen everyone. Is there anyone besides Finesse that you love?
Bustio. So they're playing against each other. It's like.
So Bustio retired your favorite?
Yeah.
So Bustio has to be your new favorite?
Yes.
Well, congratulations, Keldon. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to send it back to the casters. Friends, the game is in your hands.
Thank you so much. An 8-4 half. Evil Geniuses looked like they were going to get overwhelmed. It seemed like a lot of the pressure that Cloud9 were able to muster would prove to be too much, but they salvaged things out. Keep 4 rounds between the two, and now it's EG on the attacking side. I'm Doug. With me on the call is Dre. There was a lot of talks around whether or not EG could muster the firepower to punch back. Dre, so far, so good.
Yeah, it was a ridiculous performance out of Icy and Ye, right? And these are the two players that you need shining for you if you want to close this map of Fracture out. Ye, he did such a good job of dealing with the aggression of Oxy on the defense. Can he do it here on the attacking side? Very methodical and slow approach from EG, taking control of Dish.
Or trying to.
So quietly, too, not just now breaking the trip.
I thought he was going to try to duck under that trip.
So now, Cloud9 are aware that Dish control has been lost. Is there any proactivity to re-clear some space elsewhere? If not, might get caught off guard, but it looks like Mitch is setting up a trap play here with a fault line. Oxy's going to be there as well. Let's see how much value this gets and when they pull the trigger.
He's got it primed and at the ready. Oh, missiles out, and there's not going to be any chance to really swing on the other side of the fault line, just enough to buy some time.
Too much hesitation and no map control now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Icy swinging boldly in front of the smoke, getting the best of Zep, but yes, traded. But you're starting to feel the grip loosen. Instead, Cloud9 doubling down on it.
Up,
only
down,
2 remain. Derek and Supa trying to funnel their way out of heaven. It's all in Superman now. Can he swing into 3 with a classic?
I've seen him do some ridiculous things. I don't think this is one of them, Doug.
Light armor, I guess, but that high-low and 13 seconds left. No shot.
I was questioning Cloud9's decision-making on hesitating with that trap setup that they had, but they did it wisely so. They all fell back into sight, used those crossfires from Gen, that flood coming out. And Oxy, uncontested in heaven, got so much value on this pistol round.
One enemy remains.
But how often can you get away with stuff like that? Surely,
baby.
in different situations, those trades don't go your way. And EG can swing it back. But Cloud9 now had an opportunity to come out of this round with a lot of guns in their favor. There's full B main control right now for EG. Everybody rotating from Cloud9.
Mitch, the only one hitting a little stutter step to make sure no one's quietly lurking towards A.
It's going to be a brawl here, Doug.
These brawls are, they often go the way of the team with the better weapons. That's a couple of, I mean, that's the Phantom and a Bulldog dropped, if I'm not mistaken, scooped up by Net.
And Superman has almost crept into heaven here. Oh, that got close for Cloud9.
Closer than it should have been.
Yeah,
Sure.
Net was only 46 HP right there. If Super connects a headshot.
Derek has managed to upgrade a weapon. No armor, though. And he's heavily outnumbered. Tries to turn the flash and tuck behind the box, but is gunned down. Cloud9 get to 6. What did they carry over? A Phantom and 2 Bulldogs? That's not bad, Dre.
2 Bulldogs, not bad. Mitch took so long on that rotate, expecting a lurk towards that A side of the map. Wonder if they think that Ye is going to be trying to take some space opposite of the pack.
Which is oftentimes how EG likes to play.
Back into it, man.
Yeah, it felt like he should have turned that, but timing just a little bit off. All things considered for EG, some good damage done, and a chance. They could have done it. That spray down could have gone differently. So it is going to be B main control again, showing the same type of look. This time, Ye reconvening with the team, and Net is all alone in heaven with a Bucky.
He's got layers upon layers of protection, given all that utility. One of them cleared out.
It could get dangerous from here. Salvo is used to try to break trips, much like how Cloud9 approached their attacking side, but none of them broken. B main trip still in effect as well. This allows C9 to kind of second guess themselves on that rotate that they committed. With the stealth bot being used A main and not seeing anything though, that might be false information, and EG are going to play off of that.
They're going to try. I mean, look at the defense of Cloud9, though. They're still kind of around the middle of the map. Mitch still has a stun. Vic still has 2 smokes.
I got the spike.
It's not like they've fooled them by any means.
Yeah. Ye, this entire time was sitting underpass, trying to hear a rotation, but Cloud9, they made no steps on their actual rotate. It's still a fake, though.
30 seconds left.
I mean, they are burning that candle from both ends.
Yeah, Spike is coming down.
They're going to try to rotate back to Retain. Remember, it's Net, who is still here. Trip's still in play. Bucky at the ready. That's both Trips. Now found the stun. Will buy him a little bit of time. 13 seconds left. The spike getting committed. Net greeting Ye with open arms.
Gets an upgrade as well.
He's still going to have to fight out on the other side of it with 11 HP. Just barely. Bullet grazing by his head. Derek getting a couple. Cloud9 going to have to fight their way through this retake. Oxy beaten and battered. And EG happy to take a step back. Happy to force them to take that fight. Supa gets 3 as EG take the round.
EG survived the bonus of Cloud9, but that got scrappy. Net, if he doesn't get that tag through a wall, if that connects, all of a sudden you have a 3v2 and the round's not in your favor. Getting that Bucky kill and the way that the cages were placed, it looked like he could have found a window to bring that one back, to convert the bonus, but Superman in the clutch, swinging out, killing 2 there. Allows EG to full buy into this in Icy with his 4th showstopper. Let's see what EG have cooked up to enable him.
18 and 11. Do you turn the heat up here? Maybe inject a little pace.
I feel like you have to. You've approached every single other round so slow, so methodical. You know Net was in heaven last time around. You understand that A main control is completely gone, but you're so scared to run through. KO missiles were used.
I love how Cloud9 play that. They clear the trip and then they give up the space. It's like a 6th man potentially knocking behind you.
Yeah, looks Supa so worried about that A main push still. But EG, they're okay. They're comfortable in freezing rounds right now. And they're gonna go for this explosive hit, but it's Vic that ends up exploding the face of Icy.
And that's a showstopper, so they don't have that tool. Fault line Net once again gonna get challenged. It's stun for stun, and it's Net who comes out on top. It's gonna get traded back though as EG continue to creep their way forward out onto the site and establish control.
30 seconds left.
Defense is pretty far back. You take a look at the financial situation. It's not great for Cloud9.
Last player standing.
You call a save here. No, Zeph was going for it. A 1v2. He's gotten it down to a 1v1. Damage dealt.
Down B.
A reposition now. Ye has been an absolute monster. But can he deliver for Cloud9 again? He's turned on it. Zeppa weak. Boldly swings into it anyway. Converts for Cloud9.
Before this round, Zeppa was sitting at 3 kills. No confidence in his favor. This could be what turns the tide for Cloud9 to crawl back, maybe amass a lead of their own. He has been the success of Cloud9 on the map of Fracture in the past. Yes, they played it twice, and yes, it was only against NRG, but still, he was dropping bombs, Doug. For him to be sitting at single digits is not what you need for Cloud9. Hopefully, winning that 1v2 can light some fire into him, build up some confidence.
Meanwhile, that Red Bull clutch keeping Cloud9 in the fight. Just when it seemed like EG might be able to run away with this thing. The buy for the attack, suboptimal. Oxy popping the ult. Oh, he's gonna get away. And so where do they speed up off of this?
You gotta speed up Dish right now. There's that showstopper being used, getting even more space. He gets tagged up pretty bad, though.
This is a big round. They didn't have much as far as weaponry goes. They're investing a lot of ults. Not finding its mark. Meanwhile, Supa's trying to get around that smoke. Once again, meets a sour demise. Nature and Ye left alone, a 2v4.
Yeah, but Ye's found the gap.
No, it was a gap.
Oh, no.
And now it's been exposed. Nature deep fried. Yeah, a 1v4. They knew where he was from the beginning. The flashes, the smokes, the spam will connect.
Cloud9 switching up the aggression. Last round, it was in A main, this time B main, and the reactions off of the dish pop from EG, the protocols that Cloud9 had in effect, they worked perfectly. Mitch finding a little bit of an opening in that one-way smoke that Superman tried to use to be able to scale into the actual A site. Getting that pick was crucial for Cloud9. Yeah, it just set them up to just smother the post plant. We'll say, though, EG was able to bait out the Brimstone ult of Vic into that round, so that's something. Only one round sets these two teams apart on this first map of Fracture. A 4-1 solo breach on the bottom side, and another very, very slow approach from EG. And I do want to talk about something you mentioned earlier of when is EG gonna go into second gear, go into third gear, kind of just ball out of control, get aggressive. They're approaching every single round so slowly that I feel like Cloud9 are given windows of opportunities to identify where they're going.
It has been a trepidatious approach, but they have not really punished the other side of it, at least not this round.
And you know what I like that's different from this round for EG is not breaking the trip at all and just waiting behind it. Now, when you show all this pressure B, you can fall all the way back, pop off of the trip.
Camera taken out.
And Cloud9 might not be ready for that.
They're starting to rotate back A. Mitch at the forefront. Oxy's still there, and the spike is rotating towards that side of the map too, Dre.
Mitch has a read on this, man.
30 seconds left.
That's going to cause problems.
Wait.
Oxy's down. Icy's through, but it's all... Oh, they're going to rotate back. I thought it was going to be a fake because B's open, but no, they're doubling down. And that might just be what breaks the camel's back. Icy gets 3. The site is theirs. 13 seconds left. They still have to commit to getting the spike down, but the way has been paved. You've even got Ye, who's going to be on this late lurk. Supa just barely finding the tiniest of windows.
One enemy remaining.
And there's that late flank. EG gets to 10.
That small adjustment from Evil Geniuses, that small adjustment from Icy. I don't know who makes the call, but let's just say it was Icy in this moment. Him waiting behind that trip allows him to not get caught out by the trap play and allows him to catch Oxy.
But also, if he doesn't get 3 in there, and the spike rotates back into the site with 10 seconds left, the round is over.
Yeah. Ridiculous play from Icy, stepping up in playoffs.
22 and 14. He's been such a subject of criticism.
He has stepped up massively for EG in this playoff. And keep in mind, EG are coming off of 2 wins. Like, they do have momentum in their favor.
Including a big one against Crew.
Yeah, but they have yet to best a North American team.
Yeah, all of their wins have been against Latin American teams or Brazilian teams. You're right. No victory on home soil, so to speak. Sitting comfortably right now, though. Or, actually, comfortable might not be the right word for that.
Oh, this crunch. Nature is cooked, man. Can't settle off of that breach stun. Now EG, they have to speed up, but the 2 trips here on B site. Let's see how much value they can get.
Yeah, gonna get pushed back. Icy again with another ult.
But Vic's scared to punish.
I mean, he's getting a ton of them, but not a lot of value at all.
Both those trips got value. Vic needs to be careful. Superman slipped the net. And it's a pivot towards A site. Ye has been getting a lot of great lurk timings.
Soup is doubling down.
30 seconds left.
I thought he might just try to rotate with his team. Double dips a little bit, tries to get a free one.
He's wishing now he would have hit that shot, made it a 3v3. Post plant would have been stronger, but there's still so much to clear right now if you're Cloud9. Superman, he's still going to be a thorn.
Yeah, well, he's going to try to be. A lot of pressure coming out from heaven. The flash is going to cause serious problems with Derek and Ye. The Angel's over his shoulder. Mitch left alone in a 1v2. A tap of the spike, going to draw out the silos, and now the real game is in play. Super weak. Derek has his ult too. I didn't think he was going to invest it there.
Just no way in for Mitch. There was still a Brim Molly too to be used for Superman. Well played from Evil Geniuses, down 3v4. But Ye has been finding these timings and understanding that Cloud9 like to over-rotate. They like to push all the way through on one side. If he's not met by that path of individuals, he understands that the space that he's walking into is free. One person there at most. Game plan working perfectly for Evil Geniuses. This is the last time out for Cloud9. Imi, for once, we're not seeing a single ounce of emotion on his face. He's just disappointed, to say the least.
Still trying to rally the troops. I mean, they've had...
It feels like he's had the life sucked out of him, Doug.
They're still in this fight, but it does feel like EG, especially in that last round, found something that they've been able to lean into and press.
And a lot of that has been off of the lurk timings that I was talking about with Ye. He's back-to-back rounds. I mean, think of the last 3 rounds, right? I mean, every single time EG has gone towards that A side heavy, he's found the timing through arcade. This time, finds the timing through A site. Allows for that pivot. Superman has been taking a lot of these risks too, like just basically facing the smokes that he's been throwing on the actual site hits.
Not just him either. It feels like EG have all played at that pace. You're right.
Yeah, they're playing very loose. And I think that's really important because a lot of Cloud9's success is playing that same type of style. Sometimes when you fight fire with fire, teams don't know how to react to that.
Plus, it's playoffs, baby. I mean,
yeah,
it's either swing or be swung.
Yeah, play for the win. Oxy.
Speaking of swing or be swung.
Yeah. Trying to take all of that arcade space. He does so, but there's still a camera there from Ye. But look at this silent walk into A main. Nature has been calling such a great game.
He really has been.
So impressive. Dodging some of that firepower that was bought from Cloud9. This is a free A site. Oh, let's see if they hesitate a little too long here, though, from that Brim smoke used by Vic.
That cam was cleared. So now they know where some of the pressure is coming from. Oxy's going to take all that space on the northern side of the map, and EG try to quietly creep their way out. Now betraying their intentions as they tap the spike, but no committal yet. That's a lot of pressure onto Nature. But it's Mitch who falls first.
How does Icy still find a kill amongst all of that utility? And look at how worried Zeppa is of the lurk, but everyone's here.
Yeah, it's a slight freeze to the round. Just enough to introduce out. Now the second set comes
Last
through.
player standing.
It's going to be Ned
Spike
on his own with the
planted.
Stinger in hand. A 1v3. Nature with the stun back up. Will connect. And the cage can only save you for so long. Evil Geniuses get to map point.
Oh man, EG.
Dude, the bunny's not
Yeah.
great either. I think 4 can buy, but it looked a little shoddy.
What an approach from EG though, like walking all the way up into A main. Not hesitating when they get smoked off. Executing onto the actual site itself, and then the tap of the spike to wait for the flood of Cloud9, and Cloud9 members just being faced by this heavy weaponry, these phantoms against Stingers. Of course it's not going to go in your favor. This time, 4-1, but Teo being the sole person towards Arcade, clearing out all that space. Cloud9 are trying to get proactive here, re-clear some of that space. But there's no trip B main. Both trips are on A site. This is essentially a free B main hit.
Well, they'll get to B main for free, but look at all this utility that's here. I mean, they've got the stun. They've got the salvos. Mitch has his ult.
Here's the thing, though, is that they didn't see any trip towards B main. This kind of makes it obvious that the Cypher is playing towards that A side of the map.
And then you assume, what, a 4-man stack here?
Exactly. Another great read from Nature. Derek and Ye, if they can get a pick here as well, use that neural theft, might give more confidence to what Nature is already assuming.
Blinding.
Breach flash using A main.
And silence on the other side.
Waiting for the type of aggression. That Neon being found. It's back and forth right now on the mini map.
30 seconds left.
The pendulum swings back towards A.
Icy now finding that timing into Sands. Breach all used on net. He's stuck here, man.
Traded in kind, but Nature was not tagged by it. Cloud9 are going to try to fill in on the space. Vic is the first to fall. Net feeling all the pressure as the wall's starting to close in.
Down A.
10 seconds left. I don't know if the spike is in a position to even be grabbed, much less planted.
Last player standing.
Cloud9 in a 3v1. They survive.
This round was the definition of overcooking the round, Doug. Nature's gut instinct was that A was going to be the weak side after they approached B main and no trip was found.
Yeah.
But the pump fake, trying to bait a rotation out, was just unnecessary. And that ends up biting them in the bud. They give Cloud9 another chance to bring this to overtime. Still 3 rounds setting these teams apart. Still an uphill battle. Economy still not in favor for Cloud9 net. He has a judge in this round, and he's playing B Heaven with it. This time a trap. Cloud9 adjusting to this pressure that EG have been putting.
Ox, he might be cooked. Good night, man. A salvo, stuns, 2 stuns.
Do you face Ye here, though? He's been getting so much value on these lurks. You kind of have to send all the bodies here.
I mean, you have no idea that's what it is.
Oh!
The other side, and Ye delivers again. 3 for the Sentinel. And Cloud9 left limping. I mean, the map is their oyster right now.
So they're just going to overwhelm Vic. Layer the utility. A site is theirs. Vic is sitting at 57 HP. That regen armor is coming into effect, but what can he really do here,
Spike
man?
planted.
He needs magic. Cloud9 need magic. A 2v5 in a post-plant situation. Doesn't even have a smoke anymore. The judge tries to creep forward, but you're not going to find a net. You're not going to find a space. Facing 5. Vic crumbles. Evil Geniuses strike first.
El Diablo completely obliterating his former team of Cloud9. We have yet to see a performance like this from this man on the screen in what seems to be years, man.